So yeah, it's been a bit. I know it's been a while since the last devlog, and I just wanted to address that right away. I didn't stop working on Machine of the Damned. If anything, I kinda disappeared because I was working on it non-stop. A lot has changed since the last video, and honestly, the game is in a way better place now than it's ever been. So today I wanted to catch you up on everything. The progress, the playtests, and some of the big changes that really made the game start to click. If you're new here, Machine of the Damned is a first-person horde shooter inspired by Call of Duty Zombies and Risk of Rain 2. The goal is to mix that classic Survive the Horde gameplay with scaling builds, items, and systems that let every run feel a little bit different. And recently, that vision finally started coming together. One of the biggest milestones since the last devlog was the first real playtest with my friends. Yeah, no. Shoot it, and reload. Look at that. Look at that. Homie's arm is gonna be so swollen after today. This was especially huge for me. Up until that point, I had only really played the game myself, which is always dangerous because you start designing around how you play instead of how people actually play. Watching other people jump in, struggling, breaking things, and finding fun moments I didn't even plan was honestly eye-opening. However, it also exposed a lot of problems. There were pacing issues, balancing problems, systems that sounded cool on paper but just weren't fun in practice. But ultimately, that's exactly what I needed, because after that playtest, I went back and made some major changes. One of the biggest pieces of progress is that the entire first level is now complete. The opening map takes place in a small town, and this is the first time I can confidently say that it feels finished. The layout is locked in, the flow works, the spaces feel readable during combat, and it actually feels like a place instead of just a test environment. Because this is the first map, you start to learn the game here. The first thing you're going to come to grips with, where to kite enemies, how the map opens up over time, and it finally supports the horde gameplay the way I always imagined. In addition, a majority of the mechanics that are a part of the map have already been placed and balanced around it. On top of that, I've added even more new mechanics and reworked existing ones to make the game way more fun moment to moment. These things really entail better enemy behavior and scaling, systems that reward aggressive play instead of just running in circles, and then the Risk of Rain style progression that makes each run feel a little bit more chaotic and make you feel even more powerful over time. There are many mechanics to cover, but I'll just explain this one real quick because it's the one that makes the most sense to explain right now, but it's the perk system. How it works is that there is a perk that has a certain theme around it, and you can get multiple copies of that perk. However, each ability you get is a different trait. For example, I have this perk called Mr. Piggy, and its theme is tied to everything that has to do with the currency system. So, in game, when you get the perk for Mr. Piggy, you can get one of three abilities. The first one will be every purchase is a little bit cheaper. The second one will be increase the radius at which currencies are being picked up. And then the last one, shooting currencies allows it to be picked up into your inventory. Because every time you buy a perk, it's completely random, it could be any of those things. And on top of that, all these perks are stackable. So eventually, if you buy enough perks, you would have all of them working all at once. Again, in the future, I'll fully elaborate on how the perk system works, but for now, this is the basic outline. But ultimately, after these changes, the game just feels different. Combat is faster, builds matter more, and surviving away feels earned instead of tedious. This was probably the biggest shift. The game went from this has potential maybe to okay, this is actually fun. I'll be honest, there were moments where progress felt slow, and that's partly why I stopped posting for a bit. I wanted to make sure that when I came back with a devlog, it was because I had something real to show, and now I finally do. If you've been following Machine of the Damned from the start, thank you so much for sticking around. And if you're new here, consider subscribing if you want to see how this game continues to evolve. There's a lot more coming, and I will see you in the next devlog. Goodbye. Also, you should really wishlist the game or a black hole will spawn in your room.